Welcome, welcome, welcome. Come on in. Hello, I'm Kat Miller. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you all about the old way of copywriting and the new way of copywriting. The old way of writing copy is over. Now, by copy, I mean all your marketing words, writing to influence, writing to have an effect on people that inspires them to take action. That is what copy is. A lot of people get confused about what copy actually is. That's what it is. It's about writing words that really impact people and have an effect on people, ultimately to get them to take action. And if you're a coach or consultant, a entrepreneur, if you've got some kind of service or product that you're wanting to sell to people, then it's super important that you know how to inspire people to take action so that they can move towards you. Copy is all about, I know it's a funny word, isn't it? Copy. A lot of people don't like the word. A lot of people think copywriting is this kind of intimidating thing that you are either a copywriter or not. But all of us, if we have something to sell, something to offer that's going to help people solve their problem, we need to know how to use our words to link people to our product or service. And so that's what copy is. It fills the gap. There's a gap between your service or product and the person who needs what you're offering. And your copy's job is to close that gap. It doesn't necessarily close it all the way, all of your copy. Some of your copy will. Your copy might be on a sales page with a order form with a click button, buy here, and that closes the gap all the way up. But you might also be writing copy which is just taking someone from here to here, or here to here, or from here to here. So if you think about social media posts, for example, they are not designed to completely close the gap. It's not a wise idea to sell on social media. It's not the purpose of social media. Social media is meant to be social, and building relationships and connections with people is meant to be definitely more conversational. It could be an email. Imagine sending an email where you sold every single email. That's not the job of the email. So your copy, you've got to remember that different pieces of your copywriting, like social media posts, LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, emails, their job is to start closing the gap and getting people one step closer and closer towards you until eventually we make the offer. So copy could include all the words on a landing page that people come to and read about your product or service. So welcome those of you who are on here live. Hello, hi. Welcome. I'm going to dive into the old way and also tell you the new way of writing copy, which focuses on people over product. It focuses on connecting you with what I call your right fit people. There are people who are the right fit for you, and there are people that are definitely not the right fit for you. And your copy, the job of your copy is to attract the right people, the people who align with your energy and with what you offer, and with that solution that's in the gap between where people are and where they want to be. And also adding genuine value. So the old way of doing things was like really pushy and very super professional and cheesy. Cheesy doesn't work anymore. People don't want that. People have cottoned on to what people are doing. So it's all about now being more authentic and being more friendly and conversational. Now, I love talking about copy, especially to people who are trying to grow their business, because really it's what's letting a lot of people down. And when people realize this, it actually brings a lot of relief and hope to go, oh, it's a skill. All skills are learnable. I can learn it. I can get better at it. And I can start to see a difference really quickly. It's not like, oh, I need to go and do a 2-year degree in copywriting to actually see the impact or see the change that little tweaks in your content make. So I'm not talking about, oh, you've got to do this massive overhaul, you've got to completely change your writing style, you've got to do everything differently. It's not that. It's little tweaks, things that you can do by following proven formulas and structures that work, and then also infusing that with your personality, because that's super important when it comes to the new way of doing copy. The challenge is that a lot of people assume that they're good copywriters or they're good at content Because they're good at their subject matter. So they're subject matter experts and they have subject matter knowledge. They assume that, oh, of course I'm going to be good at content, but they haven't actually learned that specific skill of copywriting. And more often than not, then their content doesn't actually convert. It doesn't do its job. So not every single post is designed, obviously, to get someone to take an action to click through and work with you, or jump into a discovery call, or book into your event. You might just have posts that are value add, but you're calling them to some type of action. So by converting, I'm not meaning just like you post, dollars go in your bank account, because it's a journey. Like, it's looking at your client journey and how your whole content strategy is lining up to get to that sale. So there's that strategy piece. But what's super important is that good copy follows rules. Like it does. There's a lot of freedom and creativity that you can infuse within the formula, but there is a structure to it. Like, there is a formula and you can learn it. And without those clear structures and guidelines, like without knowing the rules of the game, it's like going into a sport and not knowing, going to play soccer and then just kicking the ball whenever you want, not knowing the rules, or playing a game of chess and just putting things wherever you want. Like, it's not going to work. It's like the notes on a piano, on a keyboard. There's certain notes work well with each other and certain notes don't. Like C and D is going to clash, where C, E, G is going to sound nice together like a chord. So it's like there's all these different combinations you can use, but you've got to know the rules of the game for it to work. And most people actually don't know the rules, because there's a big difference between everyday writing, or just writing about your product and how great it is, and actually writing to influence and inspire someone to buy. So let's talk about how to close the gap. So the first old way that I want to explore is the myth that your writing has to be super professional. So if you're making notes, write that down. The myth, or the old way, is professional. So your writing has to be grammatically correct. You can never start a sentence with an and. Imagine being in English class and handing in an essay as like similar to how we write a social media post or an email today. It would get a fail, a total fail. Think about your English teacher and what she would say about the way you write. It's completely different. One of the reasons is because we are so bombarded with information now. We can't read big, long sentences, big, long paragraphs. No one wants to hear old school, colloquial, traditional, big, massive words that are hard to get your brain around. So that's one reason. The other reason is because our phones are quite skinny, right? So we're used to reading this kind of like short, going down the page. And so when I see people's websites that the words go all the way across like one column, it's like, no, that's really hard for the brain. Like, we've trained ourselves to follow the path of least resistance. So we need to be able to get our copy more like bullet points, numbers, short sentences, dots, not long paragraphs, not big fancy words. The new way is conversational. And this is something I love about the new way of doing copy. Is it's more conversational, it's creative, it's friendly, it's fun, it's more playful, there's more personality. So there's a real shift away from typical perfect grammar, and it's now about actually understanding how the human brain learns and absorbs, and the buttons to press, what actually inspires people to take action, the things that are actually going to get people to feel something and be moved. Dale Carnegie says, when you're dealing with people, remember, you're not dealing with creatures of logic, but you're dealing with creatures of emotion. And we need to think about the reasons that people take action and the reasons that people buy. Like, people buy for all sorts of emotional needs. We buy for popularity or status. We buy to be recognized. We buy to feel loved. We buy to increase our time, our money, or save money, save energy, save effort. We buy to be healthier physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually. So we buy for a whole lot of reasons, and we need to understand what is driving emotions. And humans, like Napoleon Bonaparte, he says there are two motives to action: self-interest and fear. Self-interest and fear. It's kind of like that pain and pleasure thing. And when you don't understand this and you're just writing this traditional type of beautiful writing, but it's not moving people to act, it's not going to work these days. It's not going to close the gap. So that's the first one, the professional versus the conversational. It's about knowing formulas and structures, knowing the rules of the game, but also being able to infuse the rules of the game with your personality. Finding your own voice is super important, because when you have core messages, key messages that you are repeating through all your different channels, your different platforms, like the way you speak on LinkedIn should be the same as Facebook, because you are the same. The platform's different, but your voice should be the common thread through your emails, website, everywhere that you show up. So it's cohesive, because that's when people trust you. And the only way really to find your voice is to write a lot. It doesn't come by thinking about it. It doesn't come by reading about it. You can read so many other people's posts. You will not find your own voice by consuming. You find your own voice by creating. The only way I've got better at speaking for my business is by doing it and doing it. Yeah, by doing it. I was chatting to Donna today. Hello. Hey, Carolyn. Nice to see you on here. Donna says writing today is far more conversational and easier to understand. Yeah, so good. It's so much easier. I was talking to Donna today about it, just about how, like, we were talking about John Maxwell, and he's the reason that he has written so many books. He's a famous leadership guy. He's written so many books. I've got many books in the bookshelf on John Maxwell. He's all about team and leadership. The reason he can write so many books is because he writes every single day. He sets a timer for 20 minutes. He actually has this thing called the rule of 5, where he does 5 things every single day. And it's like chopping down a tree. He says to chop down a tree, if you want to chop down a tree, you can spend a whole day, you can sweat, you can get really sore, you can blister yourself, and you can eventually get that tree down. Or you can just go outside, hit it 5 times, and then move on to something else. If you do that every single day, the tree is eventually going to fall. And he's talking about anything you want to achieve, whether that's writing a book, creating a webinar, creating an online course, whatever it is. If you just chip at it every single day, eventually that thing's going to get done, right? And it's writing freely and not stopping and getting stuck in perfectionism. It's actually allowing yourself to just get good at the craft by getting out there and doing it, getting feedback, self-correcting. Great writing comes from doing a lot of writing. All right, number 2, the old way is focusing on the method of change. So the old way is method. The new way is outcome. So method versus outcome. I see this a lot, where people are talking about their method of transformation. They're talking about their interventions they do, or their limiting belief buster script, or a particular diet, a particular exercise plan, their methodology. The problem with that is that people don't buy because of a method. They want to buy because of an outcome. And so many people's posts that I'm reading lately, they don't talk about benefits and outcomes. Like, what is the result of making this change? What's the result? Sell people the result, not the hard work. The classic one that I saw, this is years ago, where a guy asked me to help him to change his marketing because he wasn't getting anyone signing up for his event. And he was running an event on how to basically use the kettlebell. You know, the kettlebell at the gym, swing it, and so he had a poster and it said, Respect the Bell. That was the title, Respect the Bell. And he had a big photo of a kettlebell. And I said, okay, why do you think this is not converting? Oh, I don't know, maybe people just like think it's going to be too hard. Like he didn't see what was right in front of his face, which is selling the method, not the outcome. No one sits at home and goes, oh, I need to learn how to respect the bell. No one does that. People sit at home and go, oh my gosh, I need to lose weight. I need to get fit. I need to fit that dress in 2 weeks. You know, those are the things people were thinking about. So we had to really break it down to, we actually called it the weight is over, the weight, like body weight. And it was all about how to use this awesome new tool to lose weight, but we got the focus off the kettlebell and onto the outcome, which was actually what people want, which was weight loss. So funny example, but I see this all the time in people's content where they're so busy talking about their features and their methodology rather than the outcome. So method versus outcome, because unless we can connect what we do with what the client is looking for, we're just never going to be able to close that gap. So don't make the mistake of selling your method before you've really imparted the vision. The vision, like painted the picture of their future, how awesome their future can be. We've got to sell them on the outcome, that future vision. We've got to drop them into a scene where they can see themselves. You know, you might say something like, imagine this. It's Monday morning, you open your laptop, you know exactly how to write compelling copy. You know that there's a formula that you can follow, and if you follow it, people are going to start engaging, people are going to start reaching out to you and booking you on your calendar, and before you know it, you're going to be a fully booked coach. You're going to be helping people, you're going to be getting testimonials, people writing in your Facebook group how much you've helped them. And so suddenly people are seeing this, oh, I can create that. Like that's actually the power of using someone's imagination rather than just focusing on, oh, my workshop does this. How is everybody tracking? Donna says, practice writing. It's the only way to improve. So true. Hello, Lisa Jane. So nice to have you on here. Vision is the key to forward movement in any situation. Yeah, we've always got to come back to that person's vision that they have for their life and how your copywriting is filling that gap and just taking that one step closer. Remember, it's always about closing the gap. All right, number 3, the old way, volume. The new way, finely crafted. I remember when I was working in London and I had this coach, this business coach, and he was very serious, and I used to meet him at this place called Pod and would have coffee and we'd go through my goals. And I remember him saying to me, what's your goal for social media? And at the time I was working in a gym. I wasn't really doing a lot of social media. He's like, you've got to get out there on Facebook. And Facebook was relatively new at that point. And I was like, dude, I don't know how I'm going to find time to get on social media. And I remember thinking, okay, maybe I'll do 1 post a week. And he was like, are you kidding me? My goal is 1 post an hour. And I was like, are you kidding me? Like he actually had a goal to post something, like just a very small thing, or actually it was tweet every hour for the 8 hours that he was working. And I just was like, dude, I can't even do 1 hour a week. I'm so busy just actually servicing clients. And this is the thing, like when you're busy and successful, you just don't have time to be doing all this volume on social media. And like for me, I've got 23 clients this week. I'd love to have the luxury of being able to sit there and pump out social media content, but organic, where not that many people are seeing it, unless you're running ads to it, it's not actually bringing in a lot of paid clients. Like it's a means in your strategy, a means to the end. It's an important part of your strategy, but it's not about just pumping out posts to stay top of mind. That was that guy's logic around it. It's like, if I just stay top of mind, then as soon as someone's got that problem, I'm the obvious solution, right? I get his logic, but the way I see it is what you're doing, if you're just pumping out quantity over quality, is you're actually training people to just skim past your stuff because they're always seeing you. It's not actually that valuable. It's like there's an inverse relationship. Like the more content you put out, the less quality it's probably going to be, unless you are not busy serving clients or doing other things in your business to grow it, like money making activities. It's not about like posting for posting's sake just to stay top of mind. You'd be much better off actually saying something really important, meaningful, finely crafting the post and doing 3 great posts a week than 6 sloppy, half thought about posts. When you actually take the time to craft a post and craft it well and be really mindful of your words, when you take the time to think about your ideal client and what they're going through and how you can help them, then you're going to be posting quality. People will share it. People engage with it. Like when I really craft my content, people often private message me. They say, oh, that really impacted me. People book in the calendar. So it's almost like, I think of, when you could buy this really cheap bottle of wine and you'd get, I don't know, 5 or 6 glasses, big glasses out of this cheap bottle of wine. Or you could just have this one really expensive, beautiful glass and you can just enjoy it and savor it. I kind of think of it like that, like the quality. People will start to view you as, oh, her posts give me so much value. I genuinely get value. I get helped. She's not just stingy holding back because I'm not a paid client. So if you can be known as someone who does quality posts and really crafts them and thinks about them, you'll get a reputation of quality. Yeah, it really is all about the audience. Hello, Gaynor. Good to see you here. Yeah, every hour. What the heck? And it does. It takes the pressure off people. People put so much pressure on themselves to just do volume. So the old way's volume, the new way is finely crafted. Now I've got one more bonus one. I was going to only do 3, but then I really like this one, so I'm going to include it. The old way is guesswork. You're just guessing and you're just kind of making it up, throwing it out there. And I'm all about action, like take action for sure. But if you think about Einstein's definition of insanity is doing the same thing and expecting a different result, that is insane to just keep posting the same type of content and think one day someone is going to contact me and want to be my client. Like, it doesn't happen. You need to keep changing things and stop guessing and hoping and actually put your certainty and your confidence in a proven formula. Like, without a formula, like there's a legitimate process, there's a way, and neuroscience is showing this now. Before we didn't understand the psychology of how people buy, but now we can actually understand there's a process that people go through of being influenced to buy. It's not manipulated, it's a way of inspiring people to get out of their way, overcome the blocks standing in their way, and actually want to invest in themselves. And if you've got a product that really helps people, like genuinely you know that it helps people, just give me a yes in the comments. If you have got a product or service or some type of offer, or you do something for people that you genuinely know that it can help them, just give me a yes in the comments if that's you. Donna says, I've learned that guesswork is so unfruitful and a waste of time. Absolutely. So give me a yes if you absolutely have something. Yep, Lisa does for sure. Most of you do, right? You've got something that is helpful and people can buy it and their lives will transform for the better. So if that's you, then understanding influence and the way people go through the process of buying, and you've got a real conviction and certainty about what you're offering them, that you know it will absolutely help them, then you want to make sure that you do everything in your power to make sure that that's going in front of your ideal clients. And the formula, Carolyn says, what is the formula? Yes, yes, yes. So many of you, for sure. I mean, there's so many different copywriting formulas. The one that I use, it's called the compelling copy formula, is one that I'm actually showing people on at my next workshop. So I'm sharing the whole formula where I'm breaking down all the different things that you can do, basically like the structure and the anatomy of good copy and the things to look out for and the things not to do. So if you are interested in that, then let me know. And it's a free event. Actually, I'll just pop the link in the chat box and you can just click on it and check it out. That's where I really unpack how to apply this. So check out my upcoming event. It's on February the 6th. It's a Saturday, and I'm basically just laying out all of the different, it's the old and the new way, but going deep on actually the how. So today I've talked about what to do. At the event, I'm going to talk about actually how to do it, how to actually use the words that influence people to let go of their blocks. What are the power words? What are the words to avoid? Like there's certain words that trigger resistance in people. And when you don't understand the rules of the game, you're probably making a whole lot of these mistakes, and it's not your fault. Like no one's probably taught you or shown you how to do it. I had no idea I was making all of these mistakes until I started really researching and learning copywriting. And then I was like, wow, I didn't realize this was such a crucial business skill that I'm missing in my arsenal. And so I'm writing like things that is helping people, but it's not done in a way that actually influences people to take action. So that's what I'm sharing. I'd love you to come check it out. It's online. So it's going from 9:30 a.m. Sydney time to 5. And so, yeah, come check it out if you are around. Otherwise, I look forward to seeing you next time. And thanks for joining me live. Give me a hashtag replay if you're watching this live and let me know what was your favorite tip, the old way versus the new way. Let me just quickly recap it for you in case you jumped on. So the old way is talking method. The new way is outcomes. The old way is volume. The new way is finely crafted. The old way is guesswork. The new way is a proven formula. And the final one, the old way is professional. I spoke about this first. The new way is conversational. Hope that's helped. Look forward to seeing you soon. Bye.